Okay, welcome back. This is just a very short tutorial talking about how you can use the rules for normal form to break up a table. Let's say, for example, you had a report, and the report had lots and lots of information from separate tables, and your job is to kind of reverse engineer this report to get it back to the individual tables. Let me give an example of what we're talking about. So here's an e-commerce kind of a report where I have a customer ID and a part number and a first name and a last name and the quantity that they purchased, the unit price, the purchase date, the order number, the quantity on hand in the warehouse, what the line item is. Line item would be like, just 1, 2, 3, 4 if you ordered 4 things. The unit of measure, a description, what the shipping charges are for the order, and then how'd you pay for it. Okay. So there's only really 3 rules when you're trying to pick an entity. Let's for example, I see a customer entity. I think most people could look at that and go, yeah, one of the entities is going to be customer. So having said that, when you go through and start checking off columns, it's going to be one of 3 things. It's going to be that column you're looking at is not related in any way. It's related, but there may be more than one of them. And then the third option is it's related and there's only one of them. Okay? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with like color coding. I'm going to pick like the customer ID as my starting location. Let's pick, I don't know, green. Okay. So customer. Does a customer have a part number? I wouldn't think so, but okay. Customers have first names? Of course they do. Do customers have last names? Yes, of course they do. Do customers have quantities? No, I don't have a quantity. I don't know about you. Does customers have unit prices? No, I'm not buying and selling humans. Do customers have purchase dates? Well, yeah, but do they only have one purchase date? No. No, you could have more than one, right? Otherwise, when you go to Amazon, you could only buy stuff once. That'd be kind of dumb. So do customers have order IDs? Yeah, but can I have more than one order ID? Well, of course I can, so I'm not marking that one. Do customers have quantity on hand? No. Do customers have line numbers? No. Customers don't have line numbers. Do customers have units of measures? No. Do customers have descriptions? Well, maybe. Some gray-haired professor might be a good description. But no, not in this case. Do customers have shipping? Not directly. They may have a shipping charge, but you only have one shipping card? I mean, I pay for shipping one time and then all the rest of it is free forever? No. Do customers have payment cards? Yeah, but look closely. Here I have a customer 12 with this payment number, and I have customer 12 down here with a second payment number. That might be a little sneaky. You have to kind of look at it. So does a customer have one and only one payment card? The answer would be no. So I only selected those things for which there is one and only one. Cool? All right, so the customer was kind of an easy one. Let's pick another easy one. Another easy one would be, well, first of all, let me go through and mark this guy. I'm going to mark this guy with an underscore because that's the little symbol that means a primary key. Okay, so another simple one, let's start with the part, okay? Like, I don't know, table could be part number or inventory or something like that. So let's start with this guy. Let's pick another color. How about blue? Okay, so we have a part number. Does a part number have a customer number? Yeah. No, part numbers don't have customer numbers. If they did, okay, how about this? If in your mind you thought, well, yeah, part numbers have customers, then the second part of the question would be, does a part number have one and only one customer? You'd say no. So, not marking that one. Do customers have first names? Well, of course not. Last name. Do customers have quantity purchased? Well, not directly. This is just a part number. Do part numbers have unit prices? Yes, they do. Do part numbers have purchase dates? Well, yeah. But do they have one and only one purchase date? No. So I'm not marking that. Do part numbers have a relationship with the order ID? Yeah. But do they have one and only one order ID? No. Do parts have quantity on hand? Yes, they do. Do parts have line numbers? No, parts don't have line numbers. Do parts have unit of measure? Yes, they do. Do parts have descriptions? Yes, they do. Do parts have shipping? Not directly. Shipping would be with an order, not with a individual part. And do parts have payment cards? No. Parts don't have payment cards. So I'm going to go here and mark an underscore here to make that guy my primary key. So those are the two easy ones. The customer one is clear what is and is not part of the customer. The part number one is fairly clear on what is and isn't part of the part. Now the next one gets a little confusing, and that is an order. Okay, so let's start here with a different color. All right, so an order. Let's go back to the beginning. Does an order have a customer ID? Yes. Does it have one and only one customer? Yeah, it certainly does. Okay. Does an order have a part number? Yeah. But does an order have only one part number? In other words, I could only order, if I wanted to order 5 things, I'd have to have 5 orders? No. The customers, does an order have a first name and a last name? No. Customers don't have that. Does an order have a quantity purchased? Yeah. But does it only have one? In other words, if I had if I ordered 42 square feet of plastic, that'd be the only thing I had? No. Does an order have a unit price? Not directly. Orders are not. Does an order have a purchase date? Yes. Orders have purchase dates. Cool. Does an order have a quantity on hand? No. Does an order have a line number? Yes, they do. But do they have more than one of them? Yeah. So I'm not marking that one. Does an order have a unit of measure? No. Does an order have a description? No. Does an order have shipping? Yes. An order has shipping costs. Does an order have a payment card? Yes. An order has a payment card. Okay, now splitting an order up typically means an order, which is all the things like at the top of the form. Envision a form, okay? The top of the form is going to have the customer's name, the customer's date, the order ID, the date of purchase, the amount of shipping, and the payment. And then underneath that, it's going to be the line items of all the things that are in the order. Okay? Just kind of envision that, right? Like an invoice or something. So now we're into this other thing, which I call order detail. Doesn't really matter what it's called. It's not all that relevant. And so I'm going to call this the guy, for lack of a better term, I'm going to use line number. Okay, whoops, I forgot to do something here. So this is order ID. I'm going to make him the guy. Okay. By the way, this is going to end up being a foreign key, so I'm going to mark that. So a line item. So this is, now that you got the top part of the form filled out with the customer's name, purchase date, credit card information, shipping, all that stuff, that part. Now we're going to go what's inside there. So does a line item have a customer ID? Yes, it does, but we can get there in a better way. And so I'm not going to mark that one, but I'll explain why in just a minute. Does a line number have a part number? Yeah, every line number, it's going to say line number 1. It's going to say item number, part number 1002, that kind of stuff. Okay. So, yes, he does have a part number. Do line numbers have first names? Well, of course not. Do line numbers have last names? No. Do line numbers have quantity purchased? Yeah. Like in here, Ted Bundy ordered 2 gallons of bleach. So, yes. Do they have a unit price? Well, yeah, you'd expect that. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one. Do they have a purchase date? I've already got that one covered. Do they have an order ID? Yes, they have an order ID. Do they have a quantity on hand? No, they do not. Does a line number have a unit of measure? Well, kinda. Do line numbers have descriptions? Kinda. Do they have shipping? Do they have payment? Okay. So now we're going to play a little game on how we can kind of get from one point to another. I'm going to go ahead and mark this guy as underlined. So I really kind of need to be able to get to, for example, the unit price. So I could say, yes, it contains a unit price. Or I could say I could get to the unit price in a kind of a weird way. In other words, from line item, I could go to part number and come up from part number and I could get to the unit price. So I don't need that to be inside this table because I can get to it a different way. Okay, it makes a little bit of sense? Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and mark this guy as a foreign key and mark this guy as a foreign key. Okay, now, when we're done, you should be able to do a very quick review. The first review is pretty simple. Have I missed a column? Nope, haven't missed anything. Are there any duplicates? Well, I've got a few duplicates. I've got part number that's duplicate. I've got customer ID that's duplicate. I've got order that's duplicate. But the rule is the only way you can have a duplicate is if one of them is a primary key and all the rest are foreign keys. So let's check. Yeah, I got one PK and one FK. I got one PK, one FK. I've got one PK, one FK. So I have followed the rules. So one more time, in summary, you design these things by getting one line in the table to have one piece of information. You know, it's called a strong entity where it contains one thing. You don't ever have something in there where you have multiples. So a customer can make multiple orders. So therefore the order number is not part of the customer. Make sense? Okay, so just follow these little rules. Either the column is not related at all, it's related but I might have more than one, or it's related but it only has one. That's the one we want. We want it's related and there's only one possible answer. Customers only have one first name. Customers only have one last name. Orders only have one purchase date. Orders only have one shipping charge and one payment and one customer. A part only has one unit price, only has one quantity on hand, one unit of measure, one description. Making sense? Okay. So in review, this is not all that complicated. You just need to play these little rules and then double check afterwards to make sure you don't have any duplicates. And if you do have duplicates, make sure that they're foreign keys. Now I'll confess, this concept of kind of going around, getting line number to be able to get to, for example, in my line item, I probably want to see the unit of measure and the description and the unit price. I probably want to see all those things, but I don't need to duplicate them. I can get there by going from line item over to part number up to here, and then I can pick up those other items. So you may be kind of thinking, well, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, but no, that would create duplicates. I don't want any duplicates. So this technique of going from primary key to foreign key to foreign key back to primary key, then get the information I need. Okay. All right, that concludes our brief little tutorial on how you split tables. See you guys in some future video.